The phone screen lit up with Rashida's face, her eyes red and swollen, her voice trembling as thousands of fans flooded into her Instagram live. The comments section moved like wildfire, hearts, crying emojis, angry faces, each one demanding to know what had pushed her to go live in such a fragile state. "Y'all, I don't even know where to start," she whispered, pausing to wipe away fresh tears that streaked down her cheeks. Her followers leaned in closer, waiting for the revelation. Waiting for the crack in her usually composed demeanor to split wide open. Within minutes, hashtags exploded across social media. Hashtag pray for RASHEEDA. Hashtag what did Kirk do? Hashtag LHHATL. Fans were shocked. Many had never seen her so undone. Emotions ran high, as rumors spread faster than she could talk. Some claimed Kirk had been caught again. Others whispered that Jasmine was back in the picture. And a few insisted it was family betrayal that pushed Rashida over the edge. The tension was unbearable. Viewers begged her to spill it in the comments, their words flashing in rapid succession. "We got your back, sis. Tell us everything. Don't let them silence you." Rashida took a deep breath, her voice breaking as she tried to steady herself. "For years, I've been holding it together, being strong for everybody else. But tonight, I can't hide no more." Her words hung heavy, slicing through the noise. The live chat erupted. The family was left divided, the fans desperate for clarity, and the energy online shifted from concern to pure chaos. What could be so devastating that the usually private and resilient Rashida was finally unraveling in front of millions? The answer, she promised, would leave everyone speechless. And with that, the real drama began. Rashida's voice trembled as she leaned closer to the camera, her hands shaking while gripping the phone. "Y'all keep asking me why I came on here tonight," she said, pausing as the flood of comments raced past. "It's because I can't keep quiet no more. I can't keep smiling when everything around me is falling apart." The silence between her words was heavier than anything she had ever shared on camera. Fans watching could see the weight on her shoulders, the exhaustion in her face. They were used to her polished image, the strong mother, the businesswoman, the wife who had endured public scandal before, but this was different. This was raw. This was broken. Her tears smeared her makeup, but she didn't care. She looked straight into the lens. "You ever love somebody so much that you keep forgiving them, even when the whole world tells you to walk away? That's been me. And now, it's all coming back to haunt me." A sharp inhale echoed through her mic, followed by muffled sobs. The fans went wild. Thousands typed at once. "We knew it. Kirk again. Sis. Leave him already. Don't let him drag you down no more." Suddenly, her phone buzzed with a notification. She looked down at it and shook her head in disbelief. "Even now, while I'm pouring my heart out, I'm getting messages trying to shut me up." The room around her was dim, only lit by the glow of the phone screen, but viewers could make out her clenched jaw. "I won't be silenced. Not tonight. Y'all gon' hear the truth." She sipped water, her hand trembling, then steadied herself. "Earlier today, I found out something that ripped me apart. Something that made me question every year I spent building this so-called family." Kirk, her voice cracked again, and she couldn't even finish his name at first. "Kirk has been lying to me again. But this time it's deeper than cheating. It's deeper than disrespect. This time, it's about betrayal that goes beyond a marriage. It's about family, blood, and lies that been hidden for years." Fans gasped in the chat. Some swore they already knew what was coming, while others speculated wildly. One comment scrolled by in bold letters, "Jasmine." Another, "Is it about Kelsey?" Rashida shook her head, almost laughing bitterly through her tears. "I thought we were past all that. I thought the old wounds were healed. But today I learned that the people closest to me been sitting on a secret that's been eating me alive since I heard it." She rubbed her temples. "It ain't just Kirk. It's people I trusted. People I called family. And the worst part, y'all probably already seen the rumors online." She pulled her phone down for a moment, the camera pointing at the ceiling while voices could be heard in the background, her sons shouting, someone knocking on her door. "Mom, you okay?" one of them asked faintly. She quickly lifted the phone back up, wiping her eyes. "See? Even my kids know something's wrong. And I'm trying to hold it together for them, but how can I, when the whole world gone, find out the same time I did?" The comments section became chaos. Hearts, broken heart emojis, fire emojis, and people typing in all caps. "Spill it Rashida. We stand with you. Kirk needs to answer." Her chest heaved as she took another breath. Then came the first bombshell. "Y'all remember Jasmine," she said slowly, letting the name hang in the air. The moment she said it, the chat exploded. "I always said I forgave. I moved on. I was over it. But what I didn't know was that Kirk's connection to Jasmine didn't stop when I thought it did. Matter of fact, it might have gone deeper than any of us ever imagined. I got proof now. Proof that Kirk been in contact. Proof that money's been exchanged. Proof that I've been made a fool of all over again." She turned the camera to show a stack of papers on the table, blurred from the angle, but just enough for fans to make out what looked like documents, maybe legal ones. "This ain't gossip. This ain't rumors. This is facts. And the person who gave me these papers, it hurt me even more, because it was somebody I thought would protect me, not stab me in the back." Her lips quivered as she whispered, "It was Kelsey." The live froze for a split second, then came back, and the chat lost control. Kirk's daughter. The one who had been quiet through most of the family scandals. The one Rashida had tried to build a bond with, despite everything. I let her in my home. I treated her like my own. And now, I find out she'd been holding on to things that prove her daddy's lies. Things that kept me in the dark. And when I asked her why she never told me, you know what she said? Rashida's voice hardened. She said, "I was trying to protect the family. Protect the family while I was out here being humiliated. Protect the family while people laughed at me. Protect the family while my name got dragged." Her phone rang mid-sentence. She glanced at the screen, and fans could briefly see the caller ID. "Kirk." She declined it instantly. "Don't you dare call me now. Not after this. Not after everything I found out today." She leaned back in her chair, exhaling deeply. "This is why I went live. Because if I keep it behind closed doors, they'll find a way to twist it, to cover it up, to gaslight me like they always do. But I want y'all to see me. I want y'all to hear me. And I want y'all to know the truth before they spin another story." A wave of support poured into the comments. But mixed among them were trolls and doubters accusing her of exaggerating for attention. She saw one and snapped back. "Y'all think this is for clout? Do I look like I'm putting on a show right now? Look at my face. Look at my family falling apart around me. This ain't no storyline. This is my life." Her phone buzzed again with text messages. The notification banner popping up quickly enough that fans caught glimpses. "Don't do this online. Stop embarrassing us. Please think of the kids." The pressure was mounting in real time. "I know they watching me right now," she said, glaring at the screen. "Kirk watching. Jasmine watching. Kelsey watching. Good. Let them watch me speak my truth. Let them see the pain they caused. And let them see that the fans ain't on their side no more. Because I'm done protecting liars." She grabbed the papers again, flipping through them. These are receipts. Bank transfers, messages, dates, times. Everything that proves this been going on behind my back. And if y'all think I'm bluffing, wait until I drop the screenshots tomorrow. Then everybody gone. No. Her voice broke one last time in that moment, softer now, almost pleading. "I just wanted a happy home. I just wanted a husband who loved me, a family that stood together, kids who didn't have to grow up in chaos. But no matter how much I give, no matter how much I forgive, I'm the one who ends up bleeding in front of the world." She closed her eyes, shaking her head. "I can't carry this by myself anymore." The screen wavered as if she were about to end the live, but instead she held it tighter, her face filling the frame again. "And if they thought I was gone, keep this quiet. They wrong. Tonight is just the beginning. Y'all think you know the story, but what's really about to come out? It's bigger than cheating, bigger than lies. It's about everything this family been hiding. And I'm not keeping the secrets no more." The chat was in a frenzy, begging her to continue. What else? What did Kelsey hide? Is Jasmine pregnant again? Kirk can't come back from this. Rashida's lips tightened, and her eyes darted away, as if debating whether to reveal more. Finally, she leaned in and whispered, "There's something else. Something even worse. And once I tell y'all, ain't no turning back." Rashida sat in silence for a long moment, the live still running, her eyes scanning the endless stream of comments that begged her to go on. She looked exhausted, like someone who had been carrying a storm inside her chest for years and finally cracked under the weight. When she finally spoke again, her voice was lower, steadier, but her words carried a new kind of fire. "Y'all think it ends with Jasmine and Kelsey? No. What I'm about to say gon' blow this whole thing wide open. And I don't care who gets hurt anymore. Because I already been hurt enough." Her breathing quickened as she gathered the papers again, flipping through them until she pulled out a folded note. She held it up. This right here is what broke me today. I got this letter delivered to my store. No name, no return address, just this envelope. At first I thought it was fan mail, but when I opened it, my whole body went cold. It wasn't from no fan. It was from somebody inside my own circle. Somebody who knew exactly what Kirk been hiding. And when I read it, I realized I've been living in a house of lies. She unfolded the paper, her eyes darting over the words, like she was reliving the sting all over again. The letter said, Rashida, you deserve to know the truth. Kirk's secret ain't just Jasmine, he been taking care of another woman too. And this one ain't new, she been around for years. You just never noticed because everyone kept it quiet. The live went into chaos again, fans typing frantically. Another woman? Stop playing. Who? This is too much. Rashida slammed the paper on the table. I couldn't believe it, so I thought maybe it was somebody trying to stir trouble. But then I started looking closer at the documents Kelsey gave me. And guess what? The names matched, the dates matched. And when I checked our accounts, the withdrawals matched to Kirk been sending money out regular, like clockwork, to somebody I ain't never even met. Somebody living right here in Atlanta. Her tears turned to anger now, her voice sharper. Y'all remember a woman named Tanisha? Probably not, because they kept her name out the blogs. But I know now, that's the name on these receipts. That's the woman Kirk been funneling money to behind my back. And get this, she got a child too. A child whose birthday lines up with one of the times Kirk went missing years ago. So tell me, how am I supposed to believe that ain't his? The comments exploded. No, not another baby. Kirk is done. Some fans even started leaving snake emojis by the hundreds. Rashida gripped the phone tighter. And y'all want to know the worst part? Jasmine knew. Jasmine been in contact with Tanisha all along. That's why she stayed so quiet lately. That's why she never came back swinging like she used to. Because she knew she wasn't the only one. And instead of telling me, instead of warning me, she sat back and let me drown in lies while she laughed about it. Her face twisted with fury. The calm breaking again into another wave of tears. I don't even know who to be mad at anymore. Kirk, for being the man he is. Jasmine, for playing her role in keeping secrets. Or Kelsey, for protecting him instead of me. It feels like I'm fighting against my own blood, my own household, my own family. And I'm tired, y'all. I'm so tired of fighting alone. The sound of another knock at the door echoed in the background, louder this time. Open up, we need to talk, a man's voice demanded. The viewers instantly recognized the voice Kirk's. Rashida's eyes widened, and she whispered, he here. He really came here right now while I'm live. Fans went wild. Let him in. No, to keep him out. We need to see this. Rashida stood up, the camera shaking as she walked to the door. She cracked it open just enough to show Kirk standing in the hallway, his face tense. His phone still in his hand as if he had been watching the live on the way there. Cut this off, Rashida, he muttered, trying to push his way in. You embarrassing us? You embarrassing the kids? You embarrassing the whole family? No, you embarrassed us, she snapped, pushing back against the door. You embarrassed me when you lied, when you cheated, when you kept all these women in the shadows. Don't you dare tell me I'm embarrassing anybody when you the one who put us here. Kirk's voice rose. That letter ain't even real. People out here want to break us apart, and you letting them. You believe strangers over your husband? The fans flooded the chat with liar, liar, liar. Rashida turned the phone so the viewers could see his face clearly. Say it then. Look at everybody watching and say it ain't true. Say you ain't been sending money to Tanisha. Say you ain't been in touch with Jasmine. Say it with your chest right now. Kirk froze, his lips pressed together, his eyes darting away from the camera. That hesitation was all the proof fans needed. The comments section exploded. He can't even answer. Rashida, leave him. Rashida's voice shook as she shouted. You can't even deny it. That silence says everything. You guilty? Kirk, and I don't care if the whole world hears me call you out. I'm done covering for you. The tension in the room was unbearable. Kirk tried to snatch the phone, but Rashida pulled it back. No. They gon' see this. Everybody gone, see the real you. Not the edited version, not the TV version. The real liar you been this whole time. Her sons could be heard again in the background. One of them yelling, Dad, stop. Mom's crying. The chaos made everything even more raw, more real. The fans watching were glued to the screen, their emotions swinging between heartbreak for Rashida and outrage at Kirk. Finally, Kirk lowered his voice, trying to sound calm. We can talk about this later, off camera. Please, just stop this live. You ruining everything. But Rashida stared him down, tears streaming again. No, Kirk, you ruined everything. And now the world knows. She turned the camera back on herself, her face flushed and wet with tears. This is what I've been living with. This is why I can't stay quiet no more. Y'all wanted the truth, well, here it is. And it ain't over yet. Because if Kirk think I don't got more proof, he dead wrong. This is just the beginning. The screen shook as she stormed away from the door, Kirk's voice faintly calling after her. The chat was pure chaos. Millions of voices demanding more, demanding justice, demanding answers. Rashida sat back down, her breath ragged, her hands gripping the phone like it was the only thing holding her together. I told y'all, I wasn't gonna hide it, but what I'm about to show you next, it's bigger than all of this. It's something that gon' change how y'all see this family forever. Rashida's hands trembled as she placed the phone back on the table. The live still rolling, comments racing faster than she could process. Her chest rose and fell as if she had just run a marathon, and her voice cracked when she finally spoke. You think it can't get worse? Y'all think this story stops at Kirk sending money? No. What I'm about to say, gone, change everything you thought you knew about this family. She reached under the table and pulled out a small box, flipping it open with unsteady hands. Inside were old photographs, some worn from years of being tucked away. She held one up to the camera, her face twisted in pain. This right here is Tanisha. Y'all never seen her on the show. Never seen her in the blogs, because they all made sure to keep her hidden. But this picture was taken at a family barbecue years ago. That's right, she was around us the whole time, smiling in our faces, laughing at the table, pretending to be just another friend of the family. And all along, she was living a double life with my husband. The chat erupted in disbelief. What? She was there. Rashida, how you find this? Rashida's eyes filled with fresh tears. I looked back through these old photos today, ones I never paid attention to before. And when I lined up the dates, I realized Kirk was right there too. Smiling, grilling food, acting like everything was normal. Y'all don't understand how deep this betrayal cuts. It wasn't just sneaking off in the middle of the night. It was bringing another woman around our family like it was nothing. Like my love, my trust, my loyalty meant nothing. She pulled out another picture, this time of a child blowing out candles on a birthday cake. The room went silent as fans leaned in closer to see. This is the part that destroyed me. That's her child. And guess who took the picture? Kirk. You can hear him laughing in the background of the video that came with it. You can hear him saying, "That's my boy." Do you know what it feels like to watch your husband celebrate another child behind your back, while you raising his kids at home? Do you know what it feels like to see him give love to somebody else's baby while you carrying all the weight of being his wife? Her voice cracked into sobs, and the comments flooded with hearts, broken heart emojis, and "We love you, Rashida" messages. But the anger was also there. People typing in all caps, "Leave him. He played you too long. Kirk is trash." The camera suddenly jolted as Kirk's voice returned, louder this time. Stop showing them that. He tried to reach for the box, but Rashida shoved him back, her face full of rage. "Don't touch me. Don't touch my proof. You had years to tell me the truth, and you chose to keep lying. Now everybody gone. See the real you." Kirk's face hardened. "That boy ain't mine. I was just helping out, that's all." Rashida's laughter was bitter and sharp. Helping out? With bank transfers? With secret meetings? With birthday cakes? Helping out while hiding it from your wife? Helping out while Jasmine and Kelsey sitting on the secret too? Don't insult my intelligence. Kirk. You can lie to the cameras. You can lie to the blogs. But you can't lie to me, no more. The fans saw his hesitation, his eyes darting away again. And the chat exploded with snake emojis and chants of guilty. Rashida leaned closer to the camera, her voice low and full of venom. "And let me tell y'all something else. They all tried to cover it up. Not just Kirk. Not just Jasmine. Not just Kelsey. But people in this industry. Producers. Friends. Even people I thought were on my side. They wanted me to stay quiet so the show wouldn't get messy, so the brand wouldn't get ruined. But what about me? What about my brand? My dignity? My heart?" Her phone buzzed again. Another flood of texts. She quickly read one aloud. "Think of your career before you go too far." She held it up to the screen. "Y'all see this? They threatening me, trying to scare me into silence. But I ain't scared no more. Because when the truth been hidden this long, the truth got power. And I'm giving it to y'all tonight." She picked up the photo of the child again, her hands shaking as she held it to the lens. "This boy deserves the truth too. If Kirk is his father, he deserves to know. And my kids deserve to know the truth about their daddy. I won't let another generation grow up in lies just because it's easier for Kirk to keep pretending." The Liv's view count shot higher, hundreds of thousands now tuned in. Bloggers clipping every second. fan pages reposting in real time. Emotions ran high. The fans divided between shock, rage, and heartbreak. The family was left divided too. The house in chaos with Kirk pacing in the background, Rashida breaking down in the foreground, and the kids caught in the middle. Finally, Rashida steadied herself, her eyes swollen but her tone sharper. And since Kirk don't want to admit it, since everybody wanna play dumb, I'ma show y'all something even they can't deny. I got DNA papers on the way. Yeah, I said it. Tomorrow, the results come in. And when they do, there won't be no more lies, no more cover-ups. The truth gone beyond paper for everybody to see. The chat went insane. Fans typing faster than the screen could keep up. DNA test. Oh my god, this is too real. We need to see IT live. Rashida wiped her face one last time, her voice steadier now. I wanted a family. I wanted loyalty. I wanted love. But what I got is betrayal stacked on betrayal. And tonight, I gave y'all the receipts. Tomorrow, I'll give y'all the final proof. And when that day comes, don't say you didn't see it coming. Because I warned y'all. Ain't just about me and Kirk anymore. It's about the lies this whole family been built on. And when I tear it down, ain't nobody safe. The screen froze for a second as her connection wavered, then came back with her face still filling the frame, her eyes burning with fury. This is war now. And I ain't backing down. The fans erupted in digital screams, already bracing for what Rashida would expose next. Rashida barely slept that night. When she went live again the next evening, her face told the story before she even opened her mouth. The swelling around her eyes, the tightness in her jaw, the way her hands gripped the phone, it was clear she had been crying. Clear, she had been wrestling with the storm of truth she had promised to deliver. Within minutes, tens of thousands of fans were pouring into the live, the anticipation suffocating. The comments flashed like lightning. We ready? Show us DNA results. She held up a sealed envelope, the kind everyone recognized from television talk shows where paternity got exposed in front of a screaming crowd. It came, she whispered, her voice trembling. The papers came. And before anybody tries to twist the narrative, before Kirk tries to say I made it up, I'm gonna open this live, right here, with all of y'all watching. Her hands shook as she ripped the seal. The room around her was quiet. Too quiet, no kids running, no Kirk pacing. He wasn't home. She had made sure of that. She pulled out the folded sheet of paper and stared at it for what felt like forever. Fans could see the tears pooling again as her lips moved, reading the words silently before she finally let them spill. In the matter of Tanisha's son, probability of paternity, 99.8%. Her voice cracked so hard she had to stop, covering her mouth as a sob tore out of her. The chat went into complete chaos. Nuwu. I knew it. Kirk got another baby. Snake emojis flooded the screen in waves, mixed with broken hearts and messages of support. Rashida slammed the paper on the table, her pain now turning into unfiltered rage. You see this? You see what I've been living with, while I was out here defending this man, raising his kids, running businesses, staying faithful. He was out here making whole other families behind my back. And I'm supposed to smile. I'm supposed to play the good wife for the cameras. No, not anymore. She leaned in close to the lens, her eyes bloodshot but blazing with fire. Kirk, when you watch this, and I know you watching, don't you dare call me. Don't you dare show up. Don't you dare send another fake apology. You got a whole other child, and you kept it from me, from our kids, from the world. That's who you are. That's who you've been. The sound of her phone buzzing again broke the moment. She held it up. Look, he's calling me right now. He thinks I'm gone. Silence myself just because he's scared of the truth getting out. Guess what? Kirk, I decline. She hit the button and tossed the phone aside, the fans erupting in support. Then came another twist. She bent down and pulled out another set of papers. And don't think it's just Tanisha. Y'all remember Jasmine, the drama that almost broke us years ago? Well, turns out Jasmine been holding her own secret too. These here are court filings, custody papers, and Kirk's name is all over them. While I was at home thinking the nightmare was over, he was in court fighting to keep another situation quiet. Jasmine wasn't just his mistake. She'd been tied to him legally, financially, emotionally this whole time. And you know who knew? Kelsey. She knew, and she hid it from me. Fans typed furiously. Not Kelsey again. This family is toxic. Rashida, we got your back. Her voice softened into something that broke hearts all over again. Do you know how it feels to look a child in the face, your stepchild? Someone you tried to love like your own, and realize their silence is part of your pain. Kelsey sat at my table, ate my food, smiled at me, while she held secrets that could have spared me years of humiliation. And when I asked her why, she said, "I didn't want to hurt you. But keeping me blind hurt me worse than anything else ever could." Her tears fell freely now, but her anger still pulsed beneath them. This ain't just about cheating. This is about a pattern, a sickness, a legacy of lies that have been passed down like it's normal. And I refuse to let my kids think this is how love works. I refuse to let them grow up thinking betrayal is something you just accept. Not anymore. She pulled the DNA paper up again, shaking it at the camera. This right here is the end. The end of me carrying Kirk's lies. The end of me covering for him. The end of me protecting everybody else while nobody protects me. From this day forward, I choose me, and I choose my kids. And if that means the Frost family, as you know it, falls apart, so be it. Because the truth gone set me free. The comments poured in like a tidal wave. Stand strong. Divorce him. We love you, Rashida. The fans were shocked. Emotions ran high, and the family was left divided in a way that felt irreversible. Just then, a knock rattled the door again. Rashida froze, her chest heaving. She whispered, "It's him." But when she opened the door, it wasn't Kirk standing there. It was Jasmine, dressed in black, her face pale but determined. Jasmine stared into the camera before Rashida could even speak. "You don't know the whole story," Jasmine said, stepping into the room. The live nearly broke from the flood of comments. "Jasmine? No way, what is she doing there?" Rashida's jaw tightened, her body stiff with rage. "You got a lot of nerve showing up here." Jasmine held her ground. "I came because you blaming me for everything, but you don't even know half of what Kirk been doing. You think Tanisha is the last. No, Rashida, there's more. And if you want the truth, you need to hear it from me." The room fell into silence, the fans holding their breath as the two women who had once been sworn enemies stood face to face on live. Rashida's breath caught in her throat as Jasmine stepped into the living room, her presence alone setting off a storm in the chat. The camera caught the way Rashida's hands clenched into fists, the way her body stiffened as if every muscle was ready to explode. "You got some nerve," Rashida said, her voice low but shaking with rage. "After everything you did to me, to my family, you walk into my house while I'm pouring my heart out." Jasmine didn't flinch. She walked closer, her eyes locked on Rashida's, her own voice steady. "You think you know the whole story, but you don't. You think I'm the villain, but the truth is way bigger than me and you. Kirk been playing everybody, not just you, not just me, everybody." The chat was on fire, fans typing so fast the words blurred together. "What does she mean? Another woman? Sis, expose him." Hearts, crying emojis, and snake emojis scrolled by at lightning speed. Rashida shook her head, her voice rising. "No, you don't get to stand here and act like you're doing me a favor. You were part of it, Jasmine. You knew about Tanisha, you knew about the lies, and you stayed quiet. You were happy to watch me suffer while you sat in the shadows with your little secrets." Jasmine's face hardened. "Yeah, I stayed quiet, but not because I wanted to hurt you, because I was scared. Kirk threatened me, Rashida. He told me if I opened my mouth, he'd ruin me, and I believed him because I saw what he did to you, how he twisted things, how he made you feel like you were crazy for suspecting anything. He'd been doing the same thing to me, just in different ways." Rashida's laugh was bitter, almost hollow. "You expect me to believe that? After years of torment, after years of disrespect, you walk in here now, on my live, and say you scared? No, Jasmine. You enjoyed the benefits. You enjoyed the gifts, the money, the attention, while I was left to pick up the pieces." Jasmine took a step forward, her voice dropping. "And you think I didn't pay the price? You think I didn't cry myself to sleep, wondering how I let myself get caught in his trap? You think it was easy being the side piece the whole world hated? You think it was easy raising a child in secret while the father pretended he ain't know him half the time? Don't fool yourself, Rashida. We both victims of the same man. The difference is, you married him, and I believed his lies." The live was split down the middle. Some fans were siding with Jasmine, typing, "She telling the truth. Listen to her, Rashida," while others were furious. No excuses. She knew. Team Rashida forever. Rashida's hands trembled as she held the phone, her voice shaking again. "So what you saying, Jasmine? That Kirk ain't just got Tanisha and her baby? That there's more?" Jasmine nodded slowly, her eyes softening with something almost like pity. "There's more. A lot more. And if you think Tanisha's child is the only one, you wrong. I know of at least one other woman. Her name is Kyra. She ain't from Atlanta. That's why y'all never heard her name. She lives in Charlotte. Kirk been sneaking back and forth for years, and he got a whole little boy out there too. Younger than mine. Younger than Tanisha's. That man been planting seeds everywhere and making sure none of us ever connected the dots. The room erupted into chaos. Rashida staggered back like the words had physically hit her. Another one, she whispered, almost to herself. Another child. Kirk, how could you? Her tears fell harder than before, her chest heaving as she dropped into the nearest chair. Jasmine pressed on, her own voice trembling now. I stayed quiet because I thought if I told you, you'd hate me more. I thought nobody would believe me, but seeing you tonight, seeing you finally speak out, I couldn't stay silent anymore. You deserve to know it all. Rashida, even if it destroys you. Rashida buried her face in her hands, the sound of her sobs filling the live. Fans typed frantically. This is insane. Poor Rashida. Kirk gotta be stopped. Some even began tagging other cast members. Where Carly read it, somebody call Yandi. Suddenly, Rashida lifted her head, her eyes swollen but blazing with fury. Destroy me? No. This don't destroy me. Jasmine, this frees me, because now I see I've been living with a monster, and everybody been covering for him. You, Kelsey, producers, friends, all of y'all kept me in the dark. But now the whole world knows. Now everybody sees the man behind the mask. Jasmine's face softened, but she didn't back down. You're right. I should have told you sooner. I ain't asking for forgiveness. I just want you to understand that I'm not your enemy. Kirk is. The tension in the room was unbearable. Then, without warning, the front door burst open again. And this time, it wasn't Kirk. It was Carly Red. Her heels clicking against the floor, her voice carrying across the room before she even got close. I knew it. I knew there was more to this story, and now it's finally coming out. The chat lost control. Carly Red. Not Carly. This live is legendary. Rashida's head snapped toward her, confusion and anger mixing on her face. Carly, what the hell are you doing here? Carly smirked, whipping her hair back as she planted herself next to Jasmine. I told you years ago, Rashida, you can't trust Kirk. You thought I was being messy, but I was trying to protect you. And now look, everything I warned you about is blowing up in your face. And guess what? I know even more dirt than Jasmine just told you. The fans screamed through the comments. What dirt? Spill, Carly. This is too much. Carly leaned in toward the camera, her voice dripping with drama. Y'all think this is just about side chicks and secret babies. No. This goes deeper. Kirk been moving money, hiding it in businesses, funneling it through people y'all would never expect. This ain't just betrayal, it's fraud. And when I tell you the names involved, y'all gon' lose your minds. Rashida shot up, her eyes wide. You lying? Tell me you lying. Carly shook her head slowly, savoring the tension. I ain't lying, sis. And if you want the proof, I got the receipts. The same way you got DNA papers, I got bank statements. And when I show you who been helping him move that money, you gon' realize the betrayal is bigger than anything you imagined. The fans exploded in shock, some typing in disbelief, others screaming in all caps for Carly to spill the names. The air in the room was heavy, Rashida trembling, Jasmine staring at Carly like even she didn't know what was coming. Carly smiled slyly, holding her phone up. But before I drop it all, I want to hear it from you. Rashida, you ready to see the truth? You ready to find out who else been playing you this whole time? Rashida's face twisted in anguish, but she nodded, her voice steady despite the tears. Show me. Show the world. I don't care who it is. I'm done being in the dark. Carly tapped her phone, scrolling, then lifted it to the camera. The person helping Kirk hide money. The person who been covering his tracks while you suffered. Is somebody you never suspected? Somebody you trusted? Somebody you've been calling your sister all these years? The comments froze for a moment before exploding again. Fans typed furiously, desperate for the name. Rashida's mouth dropped open, her breath catching in her throat. No, it can't be. Carly locked eyes with her, then whispered the name that shattered everything. Carly's lips formed the name like a blade. Kendra. The room sucked in all its air at once. The live chat detonated into disbelief, rows of wide-eye emojis, screaming caps, and question marks flooding the screen. Rashida blinked like she hadn't heard right, like her brain refused to process what the words meant. Kendra. Jacquiessi? Kendra. My friend Kendra. Her voice sputtered, disbelieving and hoarse. Carly didn't flinch. Your friend Kendra. Attorney Kendra. The one who knows how to file things nobody can trace at first glance. The one who tells everybody she's all about law and order while she quietly ties ribbons around other people's mess. Jasmine looked stunned. No, wait, Kendra. She shook her head, lips parted. We had coffee last month, and she said she hated Kirk drama. She said she wanted you free. Rashida. Carly drew a slow breath, tapping her phone. This is a routing web. LLCs, sub-LLCs. Vendor shells with pretty names nobody notices. She didn't do it for love. And I'm not saying she did it for Kirk. I'm saying she did it for control. For leverage. If she's the one who knows where everything's buried, she's the one who can move pieces when she wants to. And that keeps everyone jocked. You. Even Jasmine herein, a kind of quiet debt. Rashida stumbled back like the floor tilted. No. I refuse. I refuse to believe Kendra would help him hide money from me. Why would she do that? Carly turned her phone toward the camera. A grainy screenshot filled the screen. A spreadsheet with vendor names, dates, amounts, memo lines that looked like consulting fees, event retains, small recurring payments that seemed harmless until you stacked them together. Carly pinched and zoomed. See this line? Ivy Group Advisory LLC. Guess who filed the articles for that little boutique consultancy? Kendra. And see these memos. Event retainer, talent management audit, restaurant promo credit. You know the whole story, but you don't. You think I'm the villain, but the truth is way bigger than me and you. Kirk been playing everybody. Not just you, not just me. Everybody. The chat was on fire. Fans typing so fast the words blurred together. What does she mean? Another woman. Sis, expose him. Hearts, crying emojis, and snake emojis scrolled by at lightning speed. Rashida shook her head, her voice rising. No, you don't get to stand here and act like you're doing me a favor. You were part of it, Jasmine. You knew about Tanisha, you knew about the lies, and you stayed quiet. You were happy to watch me suffer while you sat in the shadows with your little secrets. Jasmine's face hardened. Yeah, I stayed quiet, but not because I wanted to hurt you. Because I was scared. Kirk threatened me, Rashida. He told me if I opened my mouth, he'd ruin me. And I believed him because I saw what he did to you, how he twisted things. How he made you feel like you were crazy for suspecting anything. He'd been doing the same thing to me, just in different ways. Rashida's laugh was bitter, almost hollow. You expect me to believe that? After years of torment, after years of disrespect, you walk in here now, on my live, and say you scared. No, Jasmine. You enjoyed the benefits. You enjoyed the gifts, the money, the attention, while I was left to pick up the pieces. Jasmine took a step forward, her voice dropping. And you think I didn't pay the price. You think I didn't cry myself to sleep, wondering how I let myself get caught in his trap. You think it was easy being the side piece the whole world hated. You think it was easy raising a child in secret while the father pretended he ain't know him half the time. Don't fool yourself, Rashida. We both victims of the same man. The difference is, you married him, and I believed his lies. The live was split down the middle. Some fans were siding with Jasmine, typing, she telling the truth. Listen to her. Rashida, while others were furious. No excuses. She knew. Team Rashida forever. Rashida's hands trembled as she held the phone, her voice shaking again. So what you saying, Jasmine? That Kirk ain't just got Tanisha and her baby, that there's more? Jasmine nodded slowly, her eyes softening with something almost like pity. There's more. A lot more. And if you think Tanisha's child is the only one, you wrong. I know of at least one other woman. Her name is Kyra. She ain't from Atlanta. That's why y'all never heard her name. She lives in Charlotte. Kirk been sneaking back and forth for years, and he got a whole little boy out there too. Younger than mine. Younger than Tanisha's. That man been planting seeds everywhere and making sure none of us ever connected the dots. The room erupted into chaos. Rashida staggered back like the words had physically hit her. Another one, she whispered, almost to herself. Another child. Kirk, how could you? Her tears fell harder than before, her chest heaving as she dropped into the nearest chair. Jasmine pressed on, her own voice trembling now. I stayed quiet because I thought if I told you, you'd hate me more. I thought nobody would believe me, but seeing you tonight, seeing you finally speak out, I couldn't stay silent anymore. You deserve to know it all, Rashida, even if it destroys you. Rashida buried her face in her hands, the sound of her sobs filling the live. Fans typed frantically. This is insane. Poor Rashida. Kirk gotta be stopped. Some even began tagging other cast members. Where Carly read it, somebody call Yandi. Suddenly, Rashida lifted her head, her eyes swollen but blazing with fury. Destroy me? No. This don't destroy me, Jasmine. This frees me, because now I see I've been living with a monster, and everybody been covering for him. You, Kelsey, producers, friends, all of y'all kept me in the dark. But now the whole world knows. Now everybody sees the man behind the mask. Jasmine's face softened, but she didn't back down. You're right. I should have told you sooner. I ain't asking for forgiveness. I just want you to understand that I'm not your enemy. Kirk is. The tension in the room was unbearable. Then, without warning, the front door burst open again. And this time, it wasn't Kirk. It was Carly Red. Her heels clicking against the floor, her voice carrying across the room before she even got close. I knew it. I knew there was more to this story, and now it's finally coming out. The chat lost control. Carly Red. Not Carly. This live is legendary. Rashida's head snapped toward her, confusion and anger mixing on her face. Carly, what the hell are you doing here? Carly smirked, whipping her hair back as she planted herself next to Jasmine. I told you years ago, Rashida, you can't trust Kirk. You thought I was being messy, but I was trying to protect you. And now look, everything I warned you about is blowing up in your face. And guess what? I know even more dirt than Jasmine just told you. The fans screamed through the comments. What dirt? Spill, Carly. This is too much. Carly leaned in toward the camera, her voice dripping with drama. Y'all think this is just about side chicks and secret babies. No. This goes deeper. Kirk been moving money, hiding it in businesses, funneling it through people y'all would never expect. This ain't just betrayal, it's fraud. And when I tell you the names involved, y'all gon' lose your minds. Rashida shot up, her eyes wide. You lying? Tell me you lying. Carly shook her head slowly, savoring the tension. I ain't lying, sis. And if you want the proof, I got the receipts. The same way you got DNA papers, I got bank statements. And when I show you who been helping him move that money, you gon' realize the betrayal is bigger than anything you imagined. The fans exploded in shock, some typing in disbelief, others screaming in all caps for Carly to spill the names. The air in the room was heavy, Rashida trembling, Jasmine staring at Carly like even she didn't know what was coming. Carly smiled slyly, holding her phone up. But before I drop it all, I want to hear it from you. Rashida, you ready to see the truth? You ready to find out who else been playing you this whole time? Rashida's face twisted in anguish, but she nodded, her voice steady despite the tears. Show me. Show the world. I don't care who it is. I'm done being in the dark. Carly tapped her phone, scrolling, then lifted it to the camera. The person helping Kirk hide money, the person who been covering his tracks while you suffered, is somebody you never suspected? Somebody you trusted? Somebody you've been calling your sister all these years? The comments froze for a moment before exploding again. Fans typed furiously, desperate for the name. Rashida's mouth dropped open, her breath catching in her throat. No, it can't be. Carly locked eyes with her, then whispered the name that shattered everything. Carly's lips formed the name like a blade. Kendra. The room sucked in all its air at once. The live chat detonated into disbelief, rows of wide-eye emojis, screaming caps, and question marks flooding the screen. Rashida blinked like she hadn't heard right, like her brain refused to process what the words meant. Kendra. Jacques? Kendra. My friend Kendra. Her voice sputtered, disbelieving and hoarse. Carly didn't flinch. Your friend Kendra. Attorney Kendra. The one who knows how to file things nobody can trace at first glance. The one who tells everybody she's all about law and order while she quietly ties ribbons around other people's mess. Jasmine looked stunned. No, wait, Kendra. She shook her head, lips parted. We had coffee last month and she said she hated Kirk drama. She said she wanted you free. Rashida. Carly drew a slow breath, tapping her phone. This is a rooting web. LLCs, sub-LLCs. Vendor shells with pretty names nobody notices. She didn't do it for love. And I'm not saying she did it for Kirk. I'm saying she did it for control. For leverage. If she's the one who knows where everything's buried, she's the one who can move pieces when she wants to. And that keeps everyone jock. You. Even Jasmine herein, a kind of quiet debt. Rashida stumbled back like the floor tilted. No. I refuse. I refuse to believe Kendra would help him hide money from me. Why would she do that? Carly turned her phone toward the camera. A grainy screenshot filled the screen. A spreadsheet with vendor names, dates, amounts, memo lines that looked like consulting fees, event retains, small recurring payments that seemed harmless until you stacked them together. Carly pinched and zoomed. See this line? Ivy Group Advisory LLC. Guess who filed the articles for that little boutique consultancy? Kendra. And see these memos. Event retainer, talent management audit, restaurant promo credit. You know the dates. They match withdrawals from Frost Bistro's overflow account whenever Tanisha's rent hit or whenever flights got booked to Charlotte. The chat erupted again. Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided. Rashida clutched the edge of the table until her knuckles whitened. Show me how you know those connect to Tanisha. Carly swiped to a second screenshot and then a third. Because right here, the Ivy Group pushes vendor reconciles to Brash Studio Partners LLC, a ghost office. And guess who receives the final wire from the ghost office within 24 hours? T. Ward Home LLC, a property holding vehicle for a little townhome off Campbellton. Tanisha's lease sits under that holding name. The money tracked straight through. A sound slipped out of Rashida, small and broken. Jasmine covered her mouth. Oh my god. The front door swung again. Kendra stepped in, a tote bag over her shoulder. Chin lifted as if walking into court. The chat lost control at the sight of her. Of course you're here, Carly, she said, shutting the door with a careful click. If there's gasoline, you bring the match. Rashida stared like Kendra had turned into a stranger. Tell me she's lying. Tell me you didn't help him. Kendra's eyes flicked to the phone. Then back to Rashida. I'm an attorney. People ask me to file legitimate entities every day. I don't control what they do with them after, unless I'm the managing member. Don't turn business filings into a confession to crimes. Carly barked a laugh. You love the letter of the law. But what about intent? You knew these vendors had no staff, no website, no tax footprint beyond paper. You knew what it looked like. You knew what it did to her? Kendra's jaw tightened. What it did to her is on the man who betrayed her, not on paperwork. And for the record, I told Kirk to tell the truth. He didn't. I told him to clean it up. He didn't. Don't make me the architect of a mess a grown man chose to create. Rashida stepped forward, tears burning hot again. You could have told me. I tried, Kendra said quietly. 3 separate times. You called me on speaker with him in the room. You were still defending him. You weren't ready to hear it. Every word I said would have been used against me by him, or turned into Kendra trying to ruin our family. Jasmine looked between them, guilt bleeding into her face. We all failed her. Kendra kept her gaze on Rashida. I didn't fail you. I failed to break your denial. And for that, I am sorry. The doorframe shook with another voice. Young Jock stepped inside, eyes wide at the battlefield scene unfolding on live. Man, y'all doing this on the internet? For real? He moved to Kendra's side. Carly, get out of grown folks' business. Carly rolled her eyes. Your business is never grown. Baby, it's just loud. Jock put a hand up to calm the room, then looked into the camera. Listen, I ain't here to play judge. I'm here because Kendra said your house was on fire and I'm not letting her stand in flames alone. He turned to Rashida. You know I love you like a sister. If Kirk lied, he gotta wear that. But dragging Kendra like she the mastermind, you smarter than that. Rashida swallowed, voice low. Smarter, and still blindsided. That's the magic trick. Keep me proud, keep me loyal, keep me busy, and move money under my nose with pretty words I don't have time to audit. Kendra set her tote down with a soft thud, then audit it now. All of it. I brought records. Every filing, every retainer, every email where I told that man to disclose to you. I'm not afraid of sunlight. She pulled out a thick folder and spread documents across the table stamped articles. Wire confirmations, a string of emails with subject lines like disclosure needed and spousal notice. Kendra tapped the dates. Look, I pushed. He delayed. I pushed again. He stonewalled. When I realized the wires matched support patterns, I quit the secondary counsel role and told him to find somebody else. I was not going to be a mule for secrets. I'm not going to prison for a man's ego. Carly scanned the pages, grudging respect flashing through her eyes. So you did bail. I did, Kendra said. And I told Jock. He told me to tell you. I said you weren't ready. That was my miscalculation. Jock sighed, shoulders heavy. I didn't want to be the messenger who blew your marriage up. That ain't my lane. I thought Kirk would man up. He didn't. The chat thundered. Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided. Rashida pressed her palms to her temples. So everybody saw me drowning and decided the best thing was to let me drown quietly. Kendra's voice softened. No. I decided the best thing was to throw you a life vest when you reached for it. You reached tonight. Rashida flinched at the tenderness. Like kindness hurt worse than the betrayal. She dragged air through her lungs and looked to Jasmine. Kyra in Charlotte. You sure? Jasmine nodded. I seen a flight email once when he left his iPad at my place. CLT. Same weekend his cousin had a supposed surgery. She pulled up her phone, scrolling with trembling fingers. And there an old text. Hotel confirmed at the Guess who else posted a selfie in that lobby that weekend? She turned the screen to show a woman with glossy hair and a coy caption about Queen City weekends. The username, @CairoKeeps. In the reflection of the elevator door behind her, a man's shoulder and the edge of a familiar leather jacket, Jock leaned toward the phone. Man. Carly arched a brow. Receipts on receipts. Kendra's eyes narrowed at the reflection. He's sloppy when he thinks he's invincible. A key scraped at the lock. The room stiffened. Kirk stepped in slowly, eyes sweeping the lineup like he'd walked into a tribunal. He glanced at the phone broadcasting to the world, then at the documents scattered like confetti across the table. Turn that off. No, Rashida said. Step into the light you created. He swallowed, jaw ticking. Rashida, this ain't for the internet. It was for the internet when you built a lie for the internet. She shot back. You liked the applause. Stand here for the truth. Kirk's eyes clicked to Kendra. So you really ran to them. Kendra folded her arms. I ran from you. To the facts. He looked at Jock. You brought her here to pile on. Jock shook his head. I brought myself here to stop you from bulldozing a woman who told you to do right. Kirk laughed without humor. The sound sharp. Everybody righteous tonight. Y'all weren't this righteous when you were DMing each other dirt for seasons. Carly lifted a finger. Correction. I was always righteous and messy. Sit down, Rashida said, voice quiet and lethal. And don't talk to them. Talk to me. Kirk stayed standing, chest tight. What do you want me to say that ain't already been twisted? The one word you never say, she answered. Sorry. He stared at her, 1,000 comebacks drying in his throat. He looked at the camera, then at the DNA paper on the table. Then, finally, his shoulders fell. I'm sorry. Tears slid down Rashida's face. But they didn't soften her. For what, specifically? He swallowed. For Tani. For lying about when it started and when it ended. For the boy. For making you fight ghosts while I held the lantern. His voice wavered. For thinking I could fix it with time instead of truth. And Kyra? Jasmine asked quietly. Kirk's eyes flicked to her, then to the floor. I will call my lawyer. The chat erupted with fury. Coward. Admit it. Say the baby's name. Rashida shook her head. You don't get to outsource a confession. She pointed to the documents. You moved money. You hid things? You let Kelsey hold secrets that broke me. Why? He rubbed his face. Because every time I looked at you, I remembered the man I was supposed to be. And every time I looked at the mess I made, I couldn't reconcile them. So I built boxes. I put scenes in each one and hired smart people to keep the lids down. It was cowardice. It was arrogance. It was me wanting your respect and my addictions at the same time. Kendra's voice was cool. And the law doesn't care about your poetry. He nodded. I know. Silence rolled heavy over the room. The live counter ticked up again, as if the world collectively held its breath and leaned closer. A small voice came from the hallway. Mom. One of Rashida's sons stood there, eyes shining with fear and confusion. Are we okay? Every adult in the room broke a little. Rashida reached for him, pulling him into her arms. We're okay because we're honest. That's how we're going to be okay from now on. Kirk's face crumpled at the sight of his child buried in Rashida's arms. He took a step forward. Son, I'm sorry. The boy stared at him, jaw set like his mother's. Then stop making mommy cry. Kirk flinched as if struck. Rashida kissed her son's head and sent him gently back to his room. She faced the camera again, eyes swollen but iron bright. This is where it changes. This is where I choose peace over pretense. I will not spend one more year cleaning up a grown man's havoc. Jasmine took a brave breath. I'll testify. If this goes to court over money, over filings, over anything, use me. I'll put my name on the truth. Kendra nodded. I will cooperate. If investigators ask, I will provide my full file. I have privilege with my client, but I also have the duty not to further a fraud. I will do this by the book. Carly grinned, half sad and half satisfied. Look at that. Growth and gavel. Jock squeezed Kendra's shoulder. We'll handle the fallout together. Kirk stared at the floor. I'll make statements. I'll set up a trust for the kids. I failed. I'll sign whatever you put in front of me. Rashida's mouth trembled. You'll show up to paternity tests without a fight. You'll apologize to every child's mother without a camera. You'll stop making me your co-conspirator. He nodded, eyes wet. I will. A new notification sliced across the screen. A direct message preview from an unknown account flashed 3 words that turned every face to stone. Check the drive. Jasmine frowned. What is that? Carly's fingers flew. Baby, I know a burner when I see one. Kendra stepped closer, reading the preview. If there's a link, don't click on live. It could be a trap or a leak that exposes private data. Rashida looked from the phone to the room. They're already leaking us. They've been leaking me for years. But we won't be sloppy. She clicked to her laptop on the coffee table, typed the short URL by hand, and opened a private window. The screen filled with folders named in cold. Tidy letters, CLT_trips, vendor mail, beast rollovers, IVY_engagements, kids. Kirk's breath caught. Where did that come from? Carly's eyes flashed. Seems your house of boxers sprung a leak. Kendra leaned in, scanning file metadata. These are internal emails. Somebody with access is burning you. Rashida's cursor hovered and then clicked kids. A grid of subfolders appeared. TKJ. Each dotted with school invoices, photos, support schedules, even notes from a mediator. The live chat went eerily quiet, as if a million viewers bowed their heads at once. Rashida closed the folder gently, like shutting a fragile door. These babies didn't ask for this. She opened vendor mail instead. A series of PDFs bloomed on screen: contracts, digital signatures, and one memo marked confidential. For continued discretion, move recurring support to Q3 reconciliation via marketing credits and event ambassador Carly read aloud, slow and damning. Event ambassador disbursements, which is code for paying a woman to be invisible. Kendra spoke with clinical finality. That memo alone is dangerous. Whoever wrote it understood the intent to conceal support in business flows. Jock looked at Kirk. Tell us you didn't authorize that. Kirk's throat worked. I told them to keep everything off my personal account. That's authorization, Kendra said. The live comments surged back, a roar of grief, fury, and cold clarity. Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided, but the audience felt united by truth. Rashida sat there, hands quiet in her lap, eyes on the screen, and then on the man beside the door. The fight drained out of her voice, leaving something calmer and stronger. Here is what happens next. I'm freezing joint discretionary accounts. I'm retaining forensic auditors. I'm filing for legal separation, effective tonight. You will cooperate without tantrums. You will appear for any court date, clean and contrite. You will not shape this narrative. You forfeited that right. Kirk nodded, a man finally staring at the bill for years of credit he never should have taken. Yes. She turned to Jasmine. Your child deserves a father who shows up and pays on the record. We will make sure of that. Jasmine's eyes brimmed. Thank you. She looked at Kendra. If your filings were clean and your advice shows a pattern of you pushing for disclosure, you will be fine. If not, I will not shield you. Kendra lifted her chin. I accept that. Carly broke the heaviness with a sigh. I'm ordering wings. We going lemon pepper or hot? Jock almost laughed. A wet sound. Both. And then the last twist arrived. Curious and soft as a paper airplane. The front bell chimed. A courier stood on the porch with a small padded envelope. He held it awkwardly in the camera's gaze. Delivery for Ms. Rashida Frost. She took it, signed, and slid it open. Inside, a flash drive, a folded note. She unfolded the note, read once, read twice, and turned ashen. It's from Kyra. The room held its breath. Rashida plugged the drive into the laptop. A single video file appeared. For the Truth MP4, she clicked. A hotel room came into focus. The Blanton's taupe wallpaper unmistakable. Kyra sat on the edge of a bed, tearful but composed. Rashida, I don't want to be a villain in your story. I tried to end this before it began. He told me everything was complicated but under control. I believed him because I wanted to believe someone. I kept receipts. I kept messages. I kept the dates he promised to fix it. I'm done keeping them. She looked straight into the lens. I'm sorry. Another clip autoplayed. Security cam angle of a hotel corridor. A figure in a leather jacket stepping into frame. No face, but the walk. The shoulders. The timestamp matching the text Jasmine had found. Then screenshots of messages. I'll fix it next quarter. You deserve better. Don't post that lobby pic. The video cut to black. The laptop fanword in the silence. Kirk pressed his palms to his eyes. I did this. Rashida closed the window and ejected the drive. When she faced the camera again, something in her had settled. Not numbness. Not shock. Resolve. To everyone watching, you've seen enough spectacle for 3 lifetimes. Tonight you watched a woman stop choosing silence. You watched a man meet his mirror. You watched friends become witnesses. You watched the truth pry open doors we painted shut. She lifted the DNA paper and the folder of filings, then set them down with care. This live is not the end. It is the record. It is the timestamp where the Frost House stopped being a theater and started being a courthouse. I will protect my children. I will honor any child my husband brought into this world. I will not be weaponized by shame. And I will not be your cliffhanger. She clicked to her phone and pinned a message to the top of the chat. Legal steps underway. No harassment of any woman or child named tonight. Direct your outrage at systems that protect lies. The chat shifted, some quieting, many typing simple hearts. Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided, but in a new way, lines separating the past from what must come next. Kendra gathered the records into neat stacks. I'll email you a full index within the hour. Jock slid his arm around her shoulders. We're headed out. Call if you need us. Carly squeezed Rashida's hand, uncharacteristically gentle. Proud of you, sis, even if it took a hurricane. Jasmine lingered in the doorway. If you want me gone, I'll go. If you want me in court, I'll show. Rashida nodded once. We'll talk tomorrow. Off live. Kirk stood there, hollow and present. Do you want me to leave? She looked at him for a long time. Yes. He nodded and left without another word. Rashida lifted the phone one last time, eyes rimmed red but clear. We're done performing pain. From here on, it's paperwork and peace. She hovered over the end button. The whole world poised on the edge with her. The screen went dark. When the screen finally went black, the silence in Rashida's house was almost deafening. She set her phone down slowly, her fingers still trembling as if they hadn't caught up with what she'd just done. For a moment, she just sat there, staring at the blank reflection of herself in the phone's dark glass. The adrenaline that had carried her through the live was draining, leaving a hollow ache in her chest. Somewhere down the hall, she heard the soft sound of her son's door closing, and it pulled her back into reality. The world outside her four walls, however, was erupting. Blogs were already cutting clips of her live into short reels, headlines screamed across Instagram stories. Rashida exposes Kirk's secret families. Love and hip-hop star drops DNA bombshells on IG Live, Twitter or X, as some insisted on calling it was a storm of hashtags. Hashtag Team Rashida trended within minutes, followed closely by hashtag Cancel Kirk and hashtag Frostgate. Emotions ran high. Fans were shocked. The family was left divided in front of millions. And yet, for the first time, Rashida didn't feel like the weakest one in the room. She felt like the one holding the truth. But peace didn't last. Her phone buzzed nonstop, lighting up with calls and texts. She ignored Kirk's name, flashing again and again. She ignored the unknown numbers that kept trying to get through, probably bloggers or producers begging for exclusives. But when she saw one message notification at the top, her stomach twisted. It wasn't from Kirk. It wasn't from Jasmine. It was from Mona. The producer's words were blunt. Call me immediately. We need to talk about damage control before this blows the season apart. Rashida let out a bitter laugh, the sound scraping her throat. Season apart. My whole life apart, and she worried about the season. She tossed the phone onto the couch and buried her face in her hands. But then came another knock on the door, gentle, hesitant this time. She stiffened, her body still raw from hours of confrontation. When she opened it, it wasn't Kirk, it wasn't Carly, it wasn't Jock or even Jasmine. It was Yandi.